But what resources do you use or things that have helped you?
What kinds of things do you work on?
Can you talk about acute care and what they teach you about it in your program?
I bought bones.
Yeah, I was gonna say even more like simple stuff. Okay, hello, welcome to this video. This is my first week of school, and I mean like classes. So this is my last semester taking our coursework in the classroom. So they also call it like our didactic coursework. So it's just crazy. I don't even know where the time went, but I want to pick up the camera. I want to document it. I'm also going to be using this video to answer some of those OT related questions that you all had on one of my previous OT related videos. I do have a Q&A coming up, so make sure you subscribe. Our class this morning got out 2 hours early or something. We were just going over the syllabus and kind of the assignments for that class. So here is the outfit of the week, just a huge oversized comfy sweater. Occupational therapy on the side, so I'm repping, featuring the dirty mirror that I need to clean. So keeping it real over here. It's 11:45. I'm going to get my things together. I have a meeting at noon and then a class at 1, and after that class I am done with classes for the day. Oh, and after class I'm going to look at wedding dresses with my friend Bree. She just got engaged. I figured on the way there we can answer some questions about maybe like the acute care setting or just popular questions related to occupational therapy. I'm gonna go get ready for that meeting and I'll catch you guys after class.
Do you have those questions?
Oh yeah, I have the questions. I'm like just sitting.
Okay.
You should introduce yourself.
As Bree.
Yep, you're Bree.
Are we going?
Yeah.
We're rolling. Okay, we're rolling. My name's Bree. I go to OT school with Kirsten, and I love talking all things OT, so we're gonna answer some of your guys' questions today.
Wow, you are natural at this. Yeah, that's exactly what I was
You inspired me.
Where I left this video off was like, I was like, yeah, we're gonna go dress shopping with Bree, and then we're gonna answer your questions. Obviously, it's a different day. We're wearing different stuff. We're twinning. We just gotta like point that out. Yeah, she went dress shopping, but it went like 2 hours
and 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So we were so hungry, to be totally honest. We were just not in the place to film. So
that's right, we were gonna film. I forgot.
Yeah,
on the way.
yeah. We met the first day of OT school, so we've been throughout the whole journey literally together.
Yeah. Pro tip: find yourself bestie.
A bestie on day one.
Day one, yeah.
Or after, yeah. or after is totally fine. Don't stress yourself out. I got a few questions on one of my previous OT related videos, and I thought we would just sit down and kind of chat about them because they're such good questions and it is so hard to answer in like a paragraph. So I thought that Bree would know a lot about these things too. We can kind of like bounce ideas off of each other and try to answer these questions the best that we can for you all. The first one, so they said, I really enjoyed watching your video so far and recently got accepted to Creighton's OTD program. Congratulations, that's really exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, Bree got a phone call. We're back. Basically, they were saying they would love to hear more about maybe some tips to expect, like to prepare heading into a doctoral program for going into your first year.
Okay, I think the first thing that comes to my mind, and you and I just talked about this, was always taking like that day off during the week. One day off during the week. I was told that going into OT school, just set one set day aside where you don't do homework, you don't do study things, like you just have life and do fun things. I think it's a good way to like recover and not feel guilty about not doing something. I also think you have to find what works for you to study, because people study really differently. I know you and I do way different stuff than some people. Yeah, and it's easy to feel like bad or like you're not doing enough if you compare yourself to other people, but you just have to do what works for you.
Is there anything that they should do like before they start their first semester, you think? Like anything they can do now? I'm wondering if I'm like interpreting this question wrong, but I didn't know if there's like, if they meant like anything to do before they start OT school, or if things like just like tips for them.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, but I think it's helpful to have both. So I think it's good that we're answering both. So I totally agree with studying and stuff like that. I feel like if you can figure out what your studying technique is and how you best learn, I feel like that's something that's good to start thinking about.
I guess we could give our personal example.
Yeah.
So like we don't do well like with big group studying, but it helps to talk it out. So we like go through our notes and like teach each other and help each other out, which is
Yeah, like
really
we'll like
helpful.
do the study guide and we'll split it up, and then we'll go through and like basically become experts on our section and teach the other person. We'll like use that time to ask questions, to talk over our notes, to read the book. We feel like that's really helped us for exams. That might be the opposite of some people studying. I know a lot of people use Quizlet, or they
individual quiet
time, trial and error, like what works for you. I think that's probably the best advice I can give.
I think so too, and I'm trying to think of anything before OT school, but I just kind of enjoyed my time before like working hard.
Yeah, I don't think the transition is like overly hard or anything like that.
I don't think so either, and if you're already accepted, I think you've done what you need to do to help you be successful.
So just enjoy it. Yeah.
Enjoy the freedom.
Honestly, I feel like something that I would just say is just like be open to meeting a ton of people and connecting with people like the first few weeks, or like even start messaging people when you are able to start making group chats.
Nice if you don't live in the area, would you say, to like get here like a little earlier?
Yeah, like explore like your new city.
Yes. Our class did a group me and had a bunch of meetups. Yeah. Right? Like you did some of those, I think.
Just be willing to say yes and go hang out with people and meet your new classmates.
Yeah, so excited.
Okay, so the next one, I am a CODA, currently in MOT school, so they're getting their master's. I'm in my second semester, so I would love more videos about things that have helped you throughout school. What resources do you use? What are some studying tips, etc.? They've been a CODA for several years, but adjusting back to school while working full-time has been tough, which I feel like we relate to the work-life balance struggles. Working full-time, I feel like that is very tough. I don't work full-time while I'm in school, but I just want to acknowledge that that is hard.
Yeah, I would say so too. So is that person working full-time and in OT school?
Yes, so they might be doing, which I'm kind of just like assuming this here, I could be totally wrong, but they might be doing more of like a work full-time, and then like there's some weekend programs out there for OT school, so I know that's a thing. Yeah, I'm not sure what program they're in, but
I know someone that did that in Minnesota that worked full-time and then went to school for their master's. And I think one really big benefit of that, while it's super hard, is that you're so well versed in the content. You can think of work as like applying what you're learning in school, so to kind of use that time as overlap to help like study, you know, a little bit, like, I don't know. Just try to make the connection between work and what you're learning in school is a pro of that, but that's hard. I also, was there more to that question?
There was more to that question, but what resources do you use, or things that have helped you during busy times?
I had one thing about a studying tip. I think if you have, like, I don't know what home life looks like, but if you're working full time, I think sometimes getting out of your house and being like, I'm going somewhere where I'm only gonna study, because when I'm at home and or have work going on, it's hard. I'm like, oh, I should clean, I should do my laundry.
Or maybe like other distractions too going on at
just
home.
Really set aside the time to study. That would be my best extra tip there. Like, make it intentional.
I think I commented this back, but I was just saying, like, sometimes when life gets so busy, I have to literally plan out every hour of my day. And it might sound like a lot, but it's just nice not to have to remember it all up here. Like, I know it's on paper, and I kind of just take it 1 hour at a time and don't think too far ahead. Otherwise, I get anxious and overwhelmed. So yeah, like sometimes it does take a lot of organization and planning, but taking it 1 hour, 1 moment at a time.
That's beautiful. Okay, resources. I'm trying to think what we use.
See, I think like Quizlet would be an example.
That's true.
For some people, I don't necessarily use Quizlet. It would really depend on the class. I feel like I have for 1 or 2 classes, but not very often.
I only use those for more definition-based courses, which we haven't had. Ours are so concept-based that for me, it's hard to get that out of a note card. But I'm trying to think, like, you know how we have those like ICE videos or like, don't you know?
Yeah, so
or is that more continuing ed? I don't know.
So this is
I thought they were good, but I know people that use them actually.
MedBridge?
Like, yeah. A lot of places use that, and I think just even if it's not MedBridge, but if it's like, I think videos are always a good resources. Like, we Google stuff to get another way of it being taught, or to see it, a real therapist doing it, because there's sources out there. Like, we don't have patients here, so we can't do that.
Exactly. But, so what we're talking about is MedBridge, and they're an online platform that they have like different subscriptions that you can subscribe to, but they have videos on there that you can watch. But for student purposes, they're good resources to kind of watch videos of patients and therapists like at work, and they're just good ways to see what a session looks like or to practice documentation. So I'll leave that resource down below, and there's a link you can click on and go check that out if that might interest you.
If that doesn't work for you, I think also I'm thinking AOTA. I feel like I go on AJA a lot. We're AOTA members. That's a requirement for school, but I think it's such a good thing because having access to their journal with all their research, that's helpful. Research in general. Research is my favorite, but I feel like articles, like we use a lot in class as resources. I bought bones.
Yeah, I was gonna say even more like simple stuff. Like so for our anatomy class, she actually bought bones off of Amazon.
Yeah, I bought like
I'll link them down below.
Yeah, I can try to find it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can link them down below because we actually found that so helpful. Like she let me borrow them. She was so nice. But
it was a fully like unassembled skeleton, and it had all the bony landmarks, and they were like, I would say a pretty good quality.
Right.
And good size. They weren't like teeny, they were normal size.
Right. Even just more basic, like I have a MacBook, but I also needed something that I could like write on the screen and ink with. Yeah. So I realized I couldn't ink right when I got to grad school, so I bought a cheap version. It's not cheap, but it's an iPad. I use the app, I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. I'm blanking. It's not good. No, it's the other like
OneNote.
Not OneNote. No, Note something. It's like Note something. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm blanking. I should know. I literally use it all like every day, and I don't know the name of it. I use like a note-taking app on my iPad, and I feel like that's just a nice resource. But you have a different
I have it right here actually. I just bought a laptop that converts into, because I'm more of a PC girl.
Yeah.
So it's good. We got two perspectives that converts into like a tablet, and I got a pen. It's called the No Vision pen. It's like $15 on Amazon that I use, and I just can ink then write on any worksheets we have in Word. Or all of our lectures are in PowerPoint, so I can just ink right on there with this. So I love that too. That's a good resource. I feel like that's almost a necessity.
I wouldn't worry about spending too much money on an inking device. That was something I waited to kind of feel out what I wanted to buy. So with any of these recommendations we have, don't feel pressure to go buy them. See what is best for you in your program, because we are just trying to provide maybe some tips.
Things work different for everyone.
Right. And some sort of like planning system, whether that's a planner, a digital planner, Google Calendar.
Outlook. I feel like a lot of schools use Outlook. And people just like have their life on there, which is great. I don't do that, but it's helpful. I feel like these are good resources though, because I didn't really know about a lot of them. And each other. Find a friend.
That's where I got free.
That brings you back to like the beginning.
I know.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Make sure we answered all that question.
Yeah, that one.
I think we kind of
just kind of like how to manage the work-life balance, resources, study tips.
I have to say one more thing, because I think sometimes it's okay to do, like you and I always say, I'd rather get a couple points off than completely miss an experience with like a friend in town or with your husband, or you know. So sometimes life does come first, even though we're in school, and it's okay to not always get 100% and A's, and it's okay to like, I think we're both doing very well in school, but sometimes it just might hit the back burner for a day, or you don't do the best on your assignment because you had something else going on, and I think that's okay too. Like your school doesn't always have to be perfect. So that's just one more thing on to add, because I think life gets forgotten for some people in school, and you just want to make sure that you, I mean, life's short. We like to enjoy our free time.
We do. So
beautiful.
Okay, so this is our last question. I'm applying to OT school right now, and I'm getting excited because of your videos. Can you talk about acute care and what they teach you about it in your program, if they have taught about it yet? It sounds like an interesting setting, but I don't know much about it yet, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I love that question, because I just Googled like OT and acute care, because I'm placed there for 3 months in the fall. I'll be in acute care. So I want to hear your experience in acute care, because you did a level 1 in acute care, right?
I did a level 1 in acute care, and I also worked for 1.5 years in a peds hospital. I feel like I'm very familiar with that setting. They have talked about it a bunch in our program. What do you say? I really love acute care, and it's the setting that I want to work in someday. I think it's very fast-paced. You're gonna see a lot of different diagnoses.
How long would you say you spent with each patient in acute care?
With each patient, it really depended. You can spend with like 15 minutes up to like an hour or maybe a little bit over an hour if it's a longer session. But generally it's gonna be kind of smaller sessions. You can even work with patients a couple times a day, and you're not scheduled out when you're working in acute care.
How many patients then did you see a day about?
So it really depends on the facility, what their productivity standards are, but this one, I feel like it was like 8 patients.
I feel like in acute care you generally see more just because they're shorter sessions. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
What about how long do patients usually stay in acute care?
Very short amount of time. So basically, I mean, it really depends on what the diagnosis is, but I would say like it's really common just to be there for a couple of days to like 5, 6, 7 days, and then they're discharging to home or their next level of care. Pretty
Do a lot
short
of them go to
stay.
inpatient rehab too after?
Mhm.
I feel like we got a lot of people from acute care from inpatient, if they can tolerate it. But
If
that's a whole nother
video.
whole nother setting we could go into. But I think that's good information on acute care.
Yeah.
It's like patients usually not there as long. Oh, what kinds of things do you work on? Like it's mainly ADLs, would you say?
Yeah, it's like mainly basic ADLs. So it could be like your dressing, washing your face, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, kind of those basic level ADLs. And then someone is able to do a little bit more, you can kind of do more higher level ADLs from there.
That's a good question. I'm excited.
Is there anything you want to add to that, or like from our experience in school, like what?
I was mainly hitting
classes?
on like what we talked about in school, but senior experience, like average length of stay, patients a day, how long you see them, what you do, and I think you answered all that. Coach treats. I think that's really good. I feel like you really use your basic foundational OT skills, you know, in acute care. Evaluating
and interventions,
Yeah,
so good.
Okay.
Yes, they talk about it in multiple classes. They said like, can you talk about like what they have taught you about in your program?
We cover all the settings. In OT school pretty well, I think. So,
but that's cool you're interested in it.
And I'm excited to go. I'll have to share more when I come back.
Thank you for your questions, and if you have any other ones, so many things we can talk about, comment those down below here if you have any more.
That's all I have.
Thank you for watching this video. I know it's kind of all over the place in the beginning probably, but we're happy you're here, and don't forget to
subscribe.
Like this video if you liked it. We'll see you in the next one, guys.